Today we're going to talk about how to multiply binomials. Make sure you get your date, your page number, and your learning target down, and you get all this in your table of contents so you can keep up with stuff. So remember, yesterday we did multiplying by a monomial, which was just one term. If you think back to classifying polynomials, which you should be reviewing as you go, a binomial means two terms. So I'm multiplying two binomials together. You may want to write this slide down, but you don't have to. It talks about the FOIL method. You've probably heard of that before. Basically, all you're doing is distributing twice. So for example, if I had a question that only asked me what is 3 times x plus 4, let's say this is what the question asked me, I would distribute 3 and get 3x, and then distribute the 4 and get 12. So I would get 3x plus 12 as my answer. But in this one, it asked you what is x plus 3 times x plus 4. There's something else being multiplied to this other set of the parentheses. So basically what you're doing in FOIL is distributing twice. Not only am I distributing this 3 to both things, but I'm also distributing the x. So they call that FOIL, and you can memorize the FOIL method, or you can call it FOIL if you want to, but really all you have to know is to distribute twice. So if you would like to write this down, you may pause it and you may write it. Otherwise, you really don't have to memorize it. There's also another method that I'm going to show you. Okay, so ignore this box for right now and go ahead and write example 1. So the way that I remember how to do this is, again, to distribute twice. Not only am I multiplying x plus 6 times this positive 5, but I'm also multiplying this x plus 6 times this x because they're in parentheses. So I'm going to start with that. X times x gives me x squared. Then I need to multiply x times 6, and that gives me a positive 6x. So again, because this 5 is also in this parentheses, this positive 5 also has to be multiplied to both things. So positive 5 times x is a positive 5x, and then positive 5 times positive 6 is a positive 30. Okay, so all I did was distribute. I need to clean this up and write the answer in simplest form, which means combining like terms and writing it in standard form, which means biggest exponent to smallest exponent. So I'm going to start with the x squared. It's the only x squared term I have, so it just comes down. Then I have a positive 6x and a positive 5x, which gives me a positive 11x. And then I have a positive 30, which doesn't have any like terms, so it just comes down. So this is my final answer. Okay, so that's one method, one way to do it. If you understand that, you don't have to listen to this next part. If you're still confused, a way to organize this is called the box method. So you would have to draw this box every time that you are multiplying two polynomials together. So if I was going to use the box method on this one, I'm multiplying a binomial times a binomial. So my box has to have 2 spaces on top and 2 spaces on the side. I'm multiplying an x and a positive 5 to an x and a positive 6. X times x is x squared. It's kind of like a Punnett square in biology where you talk about your genes and stuff. So everything, these two make this box, so this is an x squared. These two, positive 6 and x, make this box, so that's a positive 6x. These two make this square, and that's a positive 5x. And then 5 and 6 make this square, and that's a positive 30. And then it should line up that these are like terms. That doesn't have any like terms. These two are like terms. Combine it and get 11x. And bring down the plus 30. So you may use this method as well. Notice you get the same answer. It doesn't matter which method you use. Either one of those are fine. This is just a good graphic organizer if you're struggling with this one. Alright, so example 2, same thing. We're going to do it without the box method first. I'm going to distribute twice, so I'm multiplying 4x times everything in here. 4x times 2x is an 8x squared because x times x is x squared. And then I've got 4x times 1, which is just a positive 4x. The next term, this is where you need to be a little more careful, is a negative 3 that I'm distributing. So negative 3 times 2x is a negative 6x. That minus there makes this a negative 3, so you have to make sure to carry that with it. And then negative 3 times a positive 1 is a negative 3. So now I'm just going to combine like terms. This is the only x squared term I have, so it's going to come down first. I'm going to cross it out, and then I've got a 4x minus 6x. Those are like terms. It gives me a negative 2x. And then I've got a minus 3 that comes down, and that gives me my final answer. And if I chose to do the box method with this one, it's just like a Punnett square, so I have to have a 2 by 2 box, 4x and negative 3, and then on this side I would do the 2x and the 1, positive 1. 4x times 2x is 8x squared. 2x and negative 3 makes this a negative 6x. 1 and 4x makes this a positive 4x. And then 1 and negative 3 makes this a negative 3. And then when you bring all these down, that doesn't have any like terms. Check to make sure, but these should be like terms. And that, again, is the exact same answer we got before, so it doesn't matter which method you use. Both are correct. Last example, I'm not going to show you how to use the box again, but I want you to think about what something squared means. Remember, something squared means times itself, and I will tell you that most of you will make this mistake. The answer to this is not 4x squared plus 25. And most of you will make that mistake, so be careful. That is not the answer to that, and I'm going to show you why. Something squared means times itself, which means I'm multiplying 2x minus 5 times itself 2x minus 5. That's what squared means. So, keeping that in mind, let's use the properties that we just used. We're going to distribute twice and multiply this all the way out. 2x times 2x is a 4x squared. 2x times negative 5 is a negative 10x. And then we need to be careful here with this negative 5. Negative 5 times 2x is a negative 10x. And then negative 5 times negative 5 is a positive 25. When you combine like terms, I don't have any other x squared, so this one just comes down. Combine those and it should get more negative and give me a negative 20x. And then bring down your positive 25 that didn't have any other like terms. Notice that if you had just tried to square both those terms, which is what most of you will try to do, you would have missed out on this middle term and gotten that wrong. So be very, very careful whenever you see this, and don't get lazy and actually multiply it out so that you can see what your actual correct answer is.